Coming up on this episode of Killer Rides, we bring you features on a tough 427 cube Ford Capri and a wild Vortech blown LJ Torana. We also check out the 4th Fitted Friday event from Sydney Dragway and get the lowdown on retrofitting an early Ford with a Typhoon Turbo 6 engine. But first, let's get the ball rolling on episode number 5 with a low mileage, blown big block 68 Dodge Charger.
I actually found the car in South Australia. A gentleman imported it from America, left it in his garage for about 8 years and then put it online. We found it, we grabbed it as soon as we saw it. It's only got 45,000 genuine Ks on it, well miles I should say, being from America, and it was in a garage for 20 years before the gentleman found it and sold it. Guy in South Australia imported it in. It's a rare find. It's pretty much as you see it. We redid the suspension, the steering and the complete running gear, but the interior and paint job is exactly as you see the car today. It's very, very good. .440 big block Mopar with 500 cubes, 727 torque flight reverse pattern gearbox, a Ford 9-inch, wheel brakes all around, disc, and the steering and suspension was done by Heisman's in Tempe. The car drives beautiful. 650 horsepower with almost 800 foot-pound of torque.
Pump fuel?
It's on pump fuel 98. It drives like an ordinary car, but with a lot of horsepower. Okay, so this car here, we want to drive it, we want to enjoy the car. We've left the paint and the interior completely original as the car was purchased for the purposes of ironing out all the mechanicals and drivetrain. Once all that's finalised and finished, we'll then respray the car and redo the interior in complete leather. We want to keep the original aspects of it, so the colour's going to remain the same, interior will remain the same, but yeah, bring it up to a modern feel. We're in the process of finishing a 55 4-door sedan, an Australian-built Chev with a blown engine, pretty much like this one. About 6 months away from that. And as well as that, we're doing an LJ Torana. Quite a unique car, really modern look, really modern feel. That also is about 6 months away, so look out. I'd like to say a big thanks to Goran, Ned from Hercules Performance Engines, George from Streeting Auto, Tom from TCO Automotive and Andy's Restoration to help get the car looking the way it does. Thanks everybody. My name's Nick, this is my 68 Dodge Charger and you're watching Killer Rides.
Held in Sydney Dragway's pit area, the 4th Fitted Friday was a different car event in so many ways. Although bitterly cold, the clear skies ensured a big crowd was on hand to see a huge array of cars and bikes on display. No matter what you were into, you'd find at least one example on show. Everything from full tilt drag cars, street machines, hot rods, pro streeters and exotic supercars filled the display area, and with so many custom bikes on show, you'd swear we were back in the midst of the chopper craze yet again. The main stage was pumping out the tunes all night until the new car unveilings took to the ramp and up onto the centre stage. It proved quite a spectacle. Fitted Fridays proved itself on the custom car show calendar, and after attending our first event, we'll definitely be back for number 5. Keep an eye out for the next event, you won't be disappointed.
I chose the Capri because I always loved the shape, and I got one hell of an engine bay that was made for a V8. Yeah, it's a 427 cuber with a dart block, 4340 Eagle crank, Eagle rods, diamond pistons. It's got a CHI manifold with a 1050 Dominator Holly, and it's got John Carsey C400 cylinder heads, and it was built by BK Race Engine up in Sydney. It was aspirated, it was easy to maintain, and I've always liked the sound of a carbureted engine. The colour's called Crush with a custom mix. It's unusual to see a car that colour. It made 700 horsepower on BK Race Engine's dyno on pump fuel, and it's so reliable, and I'm happy with it. I made a promise to myself to drive it as much as I can and enjoy it because life's too short. Yes, we have raced her with the old combo. It ran a 918 at 149 mile an hour. And with this engine now, we're yet to race it, and we'll find out in a couple of weeks. No changes planned, and I'm just happy the way it's turned out. Yep. There's a lot of people involved with the build, and I'd like to thank Rick from Creative Exhaust, Bill from BK Race Engines for building one hell of a combination, Victor from Extreme Car Electrics for wiring up the whole car, Wayne from Performance Modifications for mini-tubbing the car, AK Racing and B&L Automotive for helping me along the way. A special thanks to my dad for all his support. Thank you, Dad. Hi, I'm Rob. This is my Capri, and you're watching Killer Rides. And you know, man, I can't believe this.
It's all right. No,
I don't know. I stuffed it up again.
no, it's all right.
I don't like that. And also, it's just stuff that you can cut it, can't you? With, now I know what these fucking movie guys go through. Oh, so your stuff, I should have said 43 Eagle crank. Eagle, 43 Eagle. How do you want to maintain? Or don't worry about maintain. I've always, and 700 horsepower on BK engine racing. BK race engine, sorry that. Can we do it again?
Yep.
Back. Okay. Start again, please. It's called Crush, and with a custom touch to it. I don't say do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
What else do you want me to say?
No, that's all right.
I don't know what else you want me to say with that one.
No, that's it.
But is that all we have to put in? I don't know.
Okay, the current trend of retroteching a vintage vehicle is to put a late model power plant in that is economical, reliable, and more importantly, powerful. We use factory V8 engine mount pads. That allows the fitment of the engine mounts. We've notched the shock towers for additional clearance to be able to use the factory turbo. We have a radiator mount so that you can use the factory radiator. We have a much larger intercooler on this particular application. There's a number of other key modifications. There's a little notch that has to be put into the engine bay to be able to clear the big ZF gearbox. You'll notice that there's no booster and master cylinder here. That's optional, and we've mounted our underdash unit. And of course the reservoir for the underdash unit is hidden away as well. We've also modified the factory cross member on this particular model to allow access for the bottom radiator hose to be able to use a factory radiator. Part of the engine conversion from RRS is a converted original harness. These are the computer plugs to go into the factory computer. This goes to our replacement relay pack, and then there's a series of other connectors, one that goes to the drive-by-wire pedal, another one that goes to the fuel pump, a speed sensor that goes on one of our rear axles, of course the Tiptronic gear shift to make that operate, and a number of other accessories. So that way you've got a plug-and-play system. We have a tail shaft adapter so that you can use a conventional slip joint tail shaft on the ZF gearbox. We also have a rear gearbox mount adapter that you can use an original early Ford rear transmission mount. Okay, we're on the final stages of completing this engine conversion, and the merits of this is that you can source a complete power plant with the auto, computer, radiator, all of the power steer pump and air conditioning for a very cheap price second-hand from the wreckers, and from there you can upgrade to major power without even opening this engine. When you're modifying a FG Turbo 6 to go into an early Falcon or Mustang, you require a front sump pickup. There's a number of methods that you can use to achieve this. The first one is to get a BA sump. The second one is to use a Ford Territory sump. Ideally you want to get a turbo sump because it's got the oil return already in it, but there's a casting in the early BAs that you can drill and tap into. Now, one of the things that we got caught out with is that the later FG has no provision for the dipstick in the block for a front sump. All of the earlier blocks do. So we had to make an adapter to put the dipstick tube into the BA sump. However, that's relatively straightforward. Also, there's a number of other fittings. Our power steering adapter to be able to hook up to the RRS rack. We also have our engine mounts, so they bolt in on original frame mounts. Added to that, there's adapters for water temperature, so you can use the factory gauges, and also the oil pressure. So here we have our XD to XF front cross member for our 3-link, which also incorporates the rear gearbox mount for the ZF gearbox or a T56. It has the 3-link mounting bracket for the over center link, and more importantly it has a chassis reinforcement aspect, because you shouldn't just put a flat plate on the floor. So the way that the chassis is reinforced, it incorporates the original pressing on the floor, which is kind of like a U shape where the seat box mounts. As soon as you put a cross member like this, then that floor pressing becomes a cross member. So it follows this contour and raises up. Added to that, this is an XR to XY front cross member. This attaches to the outer seat mounting bolt holes. There's a small subframe that comes from the outer sill panel down to the floor panel. This provides reinforcement normally just for the seat mounts. But when you tie all of this in together, it then becomes an integral cross member right from rail to rail, that this is a stiffer chassis once these components are installed. But the whole idea is to get a modern driving car in a vintage vehicle, one that is reliable, easy to maintain, and of course huge power.
I actually found it in a part, I think it was a trading post, a 3-year-old trading post back in, I think it was 97, and bought the car off a bloke in Victoria who'd actually done some of that with it for a couple of years and stuff like that. It was originally gold, what he'd painted it. It's virtually been this colour for years, only it used to have blackouts, GDR blackouts and stuff on it. And since we got it, I sort of made it my own pretty much. And it's become what it is today. It's a small block Chev. It originally was, when I bought it, it actually had the engine in it, and I've just added on to it over the years to make it into what it is now, pretty much. That's it's obviously, it's a Motown block. It's scat crankshaft, H-beam rods. I think they were Aries pistons, 15-degree Pontiac heads. T&D shaft rockers, so it's pretty solid, and a V4Z Vortech blower. Yeah, it was a 383. I sort of stuck with that. It's a good combo. I like it. It's not too big.
How much power are you expecting?
It's making 670 at the moment, and I'm hoping for over 1,000. So we'll see. Yeah, it's got a power glide with a trans brake. It's got a 5,500 converter. It's got a 3.5-inch strange tail shaft, aluminium case, strange centre, diff centre. 9-inch 35 spline axles, Willwoods all round, and that's about it.
So it's not going to break it?
No, it's not breaking at all. No, no, definitely not. We just went with it simple alloy door trims, race seats, carpet, and a bit of board in the back just to make it look half decent, and yeah, just went for the race sort of look and make it nice and light, you know. That was pretty much how it went, and yeah, caged for a bit of protection and had a bit of fun with too, I suppose. Mini tubbed. It had a Chev in it. It had a power. It had a 3-speed in it, I think, when I first got it. But yeah, most of the cars all still the same. I stretched the guards and put bigger tubs in the car. Obviously caged the car, took the back seat out, and yeah, made it more racy than street, I suppose. So, no projects. I think after this one, I'm just going to kick back, do a little bit with a couple of friends' cars, and sort of just relax a bit. I think spend a bit more time with the family, and yeah, drink more beer. Thank Bill Martin Performance in Goulburn for actually helping me out a lot through the years. West End Performance, Jake's Performance, my friend at Awesome Automotive, Dave, and my mate Benny McGlynn for painting, like doing a good job of painting it, pretty much. And the wife and children. Put the wife and children first. Hi, I'm Rod, this is my Torana, and you're watching Killer Rides. The rest of the drive line is, it's got a power glide with a trans brake. It's got a 5,000, God, here we go again.